But our group, what made us special is that how hard we played and the style of play that we played. That shifted, and I think that caught up to us.
Now notice right there, Jaylen said that style had shifted. The real question is how the politics played out behind the scenes. Did the coaching staff as well as Brad Stevens believe that the team should run the offense or just continue to have you lead the charge? Or should they begin to pivot back to the system where Jayson Tatum, not necessarily 100%, having things just run through him? And any one of us would be frustrated if we put in the work and just had the season that Jaylen Brown had, just to have the Boston Celtics management believe more in a Jayson Tatum who is clearly not 100%. This is where things get tricky for the Boston Celtics because they could have never imagined a situation where Tatum would be out for a year and Jaylen Brown would get to prove his real value. It's not really a guarantee that Tatum will ever get back to what he used to be. That still has yet to be seen.
A little bit in the end, as well as Joel Embiid coming back, which also made a big difference. But what a year, man. It was incredible. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into the season. And it wasn't aesthetically pleasing to some, analytically pleasing. But for people that was at the games and people that was there, I hope they realized, man, I put my all into this year, into leading this group, into trying to win as many games as possible, play as many games as possible. I took pride in just being on the floor every single night and competing to win. It didn't end in my favor. And maybe didn't aesthetically look the way other people look, but some people don't carry them same qualities, like the leadership, the work ethic, the willingness to great season, man. Obviously still I got emotions about it and whatnot, but this group was amazing.
Funny thing about the league nowadays, guys are a little bit robotic when it comes to just their perception in the media. I don't know if the 24-hour social media cycle is just making guys more afraid of just displaying who they really are. But the fact that Jaylen Brown's willing to go into a live stream and just reveal his true essence, you gotta believe that the same thing would apply when he's on the court or in the locker room with his teammates. Once again, we've all played on teams where there might have been a captain that the coaches kind of rocked with. They was like, okay, this is the guy, he's the leader. But then there was someone, when you were down, the game was almost over, or you're just trying to make a comeback, and there was a person that everybody instantly gravitated to. It was organic, a true natural leader while you're in the battlefield. That is most important. And in my opinion, I believe Jaylen Brown for this Boston Celtics team is that guy. Jayson Tatum is the more talented playmaker. He's almost the faceless face of the Boston Celtics. Like, he's a perfect guy for that because we don't really get too much of his personality. And with these franchises, being worth tens of billions of dollars, these owners, especially the new ones coming in, they're not going to want guys displaying too much personality to sway an audience or just to get any kind of PR backlash on social media. Things are very fickle right now at this moment, and taking a stand on anything could make some of these teams take a major PR hit. Again, that works on a corporate level, but when it comes to just being on the battlefield and having that team leader galvanize players, especially to achieve anything while their backs are against the wall, like this season for the Boston Celtics, you got to have that emotional type of rah-rah guy.
So, what a year fighting with these guys and growing and learning with these guys and personally learning and growing for myself. And I'm sick of the basketball nerds and the analytic junkies that have used these analytics and these numbers to just kind of turn their brain off. And people, the state of the game is a major concern for me. Like, kind of where the game of basketball is gone into like this analytical, comparative sport versus like what you see and what you feel, the emotion of the game, the passion, the leadership. stuff that makes us all human beings that we've gotten away from.
And those are the very same people that devalue a player like Jaylen Brown. There's just so many battles going on within the league. You have more of an efficiency, business-based crowd that the owners could more relate to, and they're swaying the decisions of what's going on around the league. Who's valuable, who's not. You hear narratives like the mid-range is dead, but at the same time, you look at the era in which they say these things, and you see Jimmy Butler make the NBA Finals twice. Kawhi Leonard wins the NBA Finals. Giannis wins one. SGA is able to capture an NBA Finals title. All these players use nothing but the mid-range. That kind of formulaic thinking makes the game very robotic, and this is something Adam Silver is going to have to fight through because it is affecting the overall just aura of the NBA game. At some point, different generations will begin to tune out.
And it's all about just what the numbers and metrics represent. And you can use metrics and numbers to justify bullshit. People do use metrics and numbers to justify bullshit. But from a heart, passion, grit standpoint, this team was a great team who maximized their potential, who came out and fought and played hard every single night and got better and grew and learned. In a year that everybody thought this team was going to be written off, it was going to be a fucking lottery team by the numbers. Explain that. It was supposed to win 35. You use analytics for everything else. What analytics justify we was only supposed to win 35, 40 games. The analytics don't measure everything. They don't quantify they don't quantify everything. So I know this is the state of the world. People have just turned their brains off. They don't watch the game, and they don't care about the intangibles. But call me old school. The intangibles mean something to me. Motherfucker willing to die. Motherfucker willing to sacrifice. Somebody who's a leader. Somebody who's relentless. Somebody who has grit. Somebody who, the back against the wall, they're gonna be there. You can't. The analytics don't quantify that.
And the analytics definitely don't qualify the NBA game once you get into the playoffs. The fact that the referees tuck in their whistles, the physicality is definitely turned up quite a bit. And most importantly, these pressurized moments generates different kind of reactions from players. Some of the players' careers gets broken or even made in the NBA playoffs. Just going off the top of my head, I remember Harris out in Brooklyn. He got exposed in the playoffs, and he was known at the time as a really good three-point shooter. But after getting exposed in multiple pressurized moments in the playoffs, he was never the same player. That's something that analytics cannot measure.
So I'm very concerned with the state of the game because obviously, people are going to say whatever analytically about this team or analytically about the NBA and where it's going, but, how people feel when they're in the stands watching you play and at the game and the emotion and the rawness and the passion that you have has an impact as well. So don't forget about that.
Now, Jaylen Brown has a few of his boys speak on the live chat, and they emphasize how this season, the NBA media at large kept moving the goalpost every time Jaylen Brown kept leading the Celtics past their expectations. It's funny how they started off the year where the overall narrative was that they should be tanking, perhaps to get a nice little lottery pick, staying out the luxury tax. And they went from that to the media just having the expectations of them making the finals, especially when Jayson Tatum made his return. And they knew he was not even 100%. Sometimes the NBA media overall has their funny way of showing admiration for a player, while at the same time they try to slight the person. You could look no further than the pundits who tend to side with LeBron James. The fact that they keep comparing Michael Jordan, what are they really saying? He's the measuring stick for greatness. And the same thing would apply here with Jaylen Brown. He's performing so well, even with Jayson Tatum being 70 to 80%, they still have an NBA Finals expectation out of you.
The energy's still shifting, man, so we're going to keep our heads forward.
You mentioned earlier on the stream the media machine. That's all it's doing. They love to pump the narrative. So it's like it kind of divides even Celtics fans at this point because some want to prove to the other like, oh, well, they're not going to do this or they're not going to do that. In reality, we all know what was said this year and still got the second seed. still made people argue if you're MVP or not. And we all know the real answer to that is you are the MVP. Like you don't foul bait all the time. You're not a big dude that's getting 40, 40, 40 every night, which is crazy. But like, you can't win every single year your whole career. Like, so it's like, where's your lane? It's already there. I think the media machine knows it and they can't admit it. So, like, the number one memory of the year is just watching the uptick slowly each game. Like, as that record passed the 30s, it's like, well, now what are you going to say? Oh, they can't win the title. And it's like, why is the expectations getting added on during the season when in the beginning of the season, it was you're going to gap year? Like, Millie's, I saw him at a Red Sox game. He's like, how you feeling about the Celtics? And I told him, I was like, yeah, we're still going to get the 2 seed. The whole team is stacked. It's NBA players. So that's my number one memory besides the cases and that got sold or something.
They moved the bar so easily. Like, the expectation was it's a tanking team, and now they, we get to the playoffs, and now it's championship expectation. Like
no one expected Embiid to take the whole year off and then play in the playoffs.
Exactly.
That's not cool. That's basically saying like, oh, I didn't do any work on the test, but I got an A+.
Yeah,
and then when it mattered, he worked. Like that's dumb, But.
Yeah, and then people, for me personally, they've been waiting on me to fail because there's people been having low expectations for me since I got drafted, and I've just been consistently moving and getting better. I've had some day ones and some real ones that have been supporting me from day.
Hey, you hear that? Ever since he got drafted, they had low expectations waiting for him to fail. Remember, Jaylen Brown was coming off the bench that year that Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward were on the team. The media, even knowing that he was a 3rd overall pick, kept on reporting rumors that he was sort of a piece that needed to be traded so they can get a finished product like Anthony Davis. Again, it's good to humanize some of these guys because just imagine this is your entrance into the NBA. You've come on into a legendary franchise like the Boston Celtics with the 3rd overall pick, but yet they got you coming off the bench and you're consistently hearing trade rumors involving your name. Even Jayson Tatum has stated himself that he had reservations about joining the Boston Celtics with them just being so crowded. Just imagine how Jaylen Brown felt, because at the end of the day, Tatum was always viewed as a guy who could be a franchise figure.
But there's a lot of people who have expected less and couldn't wait for me or can't wait for me to fall on my face or be who who they think I should be. But I'm gonna just keep getting better. I feel like I'm just entering my prime. I'm still getting better. I'm growing, and I'm gonna just keep showing y'all motherfuckers that this ain't the peak yet. Like, I can't wait to get back in the gym. I can't wait to keep mastering my craft, because I know that I can be even better than I did this year, which some people probably couldn't even fathom that I would do it this year. They're not gonna be able to fathom when I do the next year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my mindset and that's my approach. And the people that care about all the analytics and shit like that, they won't never understand. So, the game has changed a lot. The game is kind of moving from this like 3-point era to this more physical in the paint style of play.
Yep.
That is facts. The analytical crowd has made almost every single team the same. And with all that 3-point shooting, the middle of the floor, especially around that high post area, has gotten even more easier for guys to get their shit off. Look at how SGA is completely dominating and just being able to play make and get buckets. The analytics for the most part will always be a reaction to what's going on. Let's just say if the next 5 NBA draft classes have a bunch of 7-footers who have a dominating post game and could just kill you from the mid-range, you'll eventually see the analytics adjust to that new generation of players coming in. No one's saying to be anti-analytics. It should be used as one of many tools, but not the full crutch.
So I think as a Celtics, we're gonna have to adjust with that, because we're kind of still like in that 3-point era. That was like that Curry kind of created. But
kind
now
of ruined basketball, in my opinion. Everyone just started chucking up threes, man.
It's going back now.
Every
though.
team, and that's what I feel like people aren't talking about.
It works.
It works, but other teams are doing it. Why aren't we hearing about people complaining about other teams?
Yeah,
it's not fair.
Yeah, it's changing now though. Like, you see teams like it's going back to almost like the '90s, like where the game is played in the paint, where most of the points in the paint, the physicality is increased, all that type of stuff is shifting a little bit. So I think we'll need to shift to some degree. I'm not sure what the front office thing. Of course, we'll talk to them when we get to them. But you know, it was a great year. You know, we did what we had to do. Shout out to this group, man. This group was a special group. So proud of this group and the way we played. I wish we trusted that style of play a little bit more, but I know playoffs kind of shifted our rotations and what we wanted to do.
Once again, that's Jaylen Brown lightly softening, just being very political and letting the audience know that something had shifted when they entered into the playoffs. Did Joe Mazzulla or Brad Stevens had the Celtics kind of move away from what they were doing in the regular season, just running everything through Jaylen Brown? Or did they not trust him enough and rather just go with a Jayson Tatum who was really only at 70%? That says a lot about their confidence or just the direction they want to take with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen is a very highly intelligent guy. Right there, it could signify to him that this organization does not believe that he can level up. Or should I say, they don't necessarily want him to level up because it's not necessarily part of their plan. Eventually down the line, those contract renegotiations are going to be quite interesting. And it wouldn't shock me to hear that Jaylen Brown is emphasizing his positioning within the organization, the importance of it.
But I'm so proud, and it was my favorite year of my basketball career. One, streaming with you guys, chat, was awesome. Like being able to talk to y'all was like therapy every single day. You know what I mean? I mean, not every day, like once a week or whatever, what I was doing. Just to be able to get on here and give y'all the perspective and kind of, because you know these narratives be going left and right, just to hear it from the horse's mouth. But then also being able to just be a part of a group that just, through the uncertainty, came to fight and came to compete and came and went to war. I'll take a team like that any day of the week. You know what I mean? My team, we're not hanging our head for nothing. You know what I mean? We came out, we competed, we ended up coming up short, but that's the nature of the game. That's the nature of the sport.
And within that uncertainty, Celtics fans now are getting a clear picture of the talent level that they have on this team. They have a duo that's much more closely related when it comes to where they rank in this whole NBA hierarchy. And these are good problems to have. But when you also look at the financial side, the NBA now is structured a lot different than it was when Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown got their huge contracts. Owners today don't necessarily want two players having the public perception that they're at the same level, because that means they'll have to shell out almost equally matched contracts, which hurts you in today's league when you're trying to build a championship contender. You're going to dive deep into that luxury tax, paying out hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and any sort of injury or just setback could cripple a franchise for years. So again, Jaylen Brown is fighting multiple fronts at the same time. The NBA media trying to downplay his shit, and also the league structurally changing and not being set up for two co-stars to almost be paid at the same level. Jayson Tatum's Achilles injury and just not knowing that if he'll ever come back as being his old self only complicates the situation.
We're going to keep staying tapped in, but it's been a great season, man. I appreciate y'all. I feel like I was the only streamer basketball player this year. You know what I mean?
I didn't see any.
Yeah,
I didn't see any.
Continuous throughout the whole season.
The whole season, I streamed
Hooped
and streamed once a week, which I don't know.
All-Star, jersey retirement, high school jersey retirement in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
different.
I think Kyrie was streaming for a little bit. I'm not sure how consistent he was, but I think he was the first one I saw. So shout out to Ree. But I think you'll see more players, because the media has gotten so bad where players
Need to.
so you can hear from them, because it's just the clickbait and the negativity is too much. But I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful for the ups and downs. I'm grateful for the community. I'm grateful for the Celtics allowing me to come in, you know, and do my thing and use their platform to be to inspire and to be inspired. So season's over, but the energy's still shifting. We got motion coming towards you, coming to a city near you. So we appreciate y'all. We see you next time.
Well said from Jaylen Brown. Celtics fans, I can only imagine, are very conflicted because for a long time, there was sort of a convincing from NBA media that Tatum was on the same level as SGA, Jokic, and Giannis. Now we're coming to the realization that Tatum and Brown are almost at the same level versus Tatum being on the same tier as SGA, Giannis, and Jokic. But at the end of the day, this is really nothing new. The NBA media throughout its history has always tried to pin star duos against each other. I would say in more recent times, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. You could also add Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry. They're always going to be hunting for potential conflicts. Unfortunately, this is the current media landscape, as the money is drying up and companies are consolidating. But hey, kudos to Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics. These are not only good problems to have, but you also got one hell of a season.